Next topic. Open a Niagara, and 4, station connection. BAS presents, build in a new Niagara 4 station, Lowrider Logic Edition. Strap in with the Niagara 4 Chicas inside the candy-painted 64 compressed air supercharged Impala with airbag suspension. Ride in smooth like a PID loop through a VOV zone. BAS, driver seat, command center of chaos. Y'all ready to fire up a fresh N4 station? Grab your mouse and tighten them belts. Cause we ain't just tappin' buttons, we tunin' this like we tunin' air pressure and logic flow through an air suspension manifold. This Impala don't bounce unless it's programmed right. Step 1, open in the workbench aka ignite in the ride from the driver's seat. JJ reaches up to the dash, go up to that tools menu like you're flippin' the switch on an air compressor. Boom. Select new station. That's like firin' up the ECU before hittin' the strip. Leah G, shotgun, navigation and naming department. Leah's tappin' on a touchscreen GPS mounted above the glove box. Alright sugar, name that station like you're namin' a new build, Supernova _controls or Queen HVAC _01 something clean. You can even pick a template, like selectin' your ride mode, street, strip, or slammed. Go custom if you got signature flavor. Miriama K, back left seat, password security and admin protection. She's flippin' open a toolbox full of symbols, numbers, and lock icons. Time to set your admin password, fam. We talk in 10 characters, gotta have 1 uppercase, 1 lowercase, and 1 number like tune and 3 air springs to ride height. Don't be slack. A weak passwords like leak and boost in a supercharger. Step 2, station copy time, like fill in the tanks with air. JJ punches the chrome finish button on the dash. Now when you finish up that setup, you got options. You can, just save it in user home like leaving it in the garage. Or copy it to daemon home with the station copier that's like airbag in your ride so it's ready to roll soon as you press the switch. Sky B, back right, platform connect Queen, Sky plugs her tablet into the rear console. We gotta connect to your platform settings, sugar. Windows gonna be like, who dat? Cause it don't trust Tritium self-signed cert. Just hit accept, log in with your creds, and check that lil box that says remember me. We don't like typing the same stuff twice. The Zweedle twins, Tweedle Z and Sandra Z, in the trunk, redundancy and runtime readiness. They're sprawled in the trunk surrounded by air tanks, fuses, and BAS net adapters. Lady Z, start station on boot. That's like auto liftin' when the key turns. Sandra Z, but if it's your laptop, don't start it up all willy-nilly. Leave it off unless you manual crank it in the application director. JJ hollers from the front, yeah, don't want your bags inflated in just cause you opened the trunk. Step 3, transfer time, push it to the platform. JJ punches the next button like it's a paddle shifter. Now that sucker's copy into your daemon home. Think of it like fill in the compressor tanks. Fast and tight. Empty station? It's done quicker than a burnout on sticky track. Step 4, open the application director. Let's see if she's running. You'll get a pop-up a skin, wanna open application director? Yes. You do. Alice, riding in the rear middle seat between Miriama and Sky, taps her smartwatch. JJ, it still says starting. Be cool, lil lady, JJ grins. It's like the airbags fill in once it says running. We ready to engineer that beast. Station's runnin'? You made it, baby. JJ drops the mic, and the Impala, with the touch of the airbag switch. You just built a fresh Niagara 4 station, configured it, secured it, and got it copied to your local ride. That's how we roll. Now go flex that new logic block and make that HVAC system dance like this Impala. Post-credits scene, White Rabbit is wearing a hard hat and typing on a laptop strapped to a flamingo. I'm late for tagging the network points. The Queen of Hearts chimes in from the back seat, off with his null pointers. Niagara 4 station equals engineered Impala equals slammed logic equals clean. Stay smooth. Stay secure. Keep riding smart. JJ the Boss out. Alice's Adventures in Niagara Land, building a new Niagara 4 station, Wonderland Lowrider edition. Down the rabbit hole of BAS programming, Alice hops into the candy-painted 64 Impala with the Niagara 4 Chicas. The White Rabbit's got the stopwatch, the Cheshire Cat's grin flickers on the HMI screen, and the Mad Hatter's Bruin logic loops like T. JJ the Boss, driver seat master of mischief and machines, ready to start a fresh N4 station. Kids, grab your magic mouse and buckle in tight. This ain't just button tapping, it's like tuning the airbag suspension and supercharged logic flow of our lowrider. This Impala don't bounce if the code's sloppy. Step 1, open the workbench, flip the air compressor switch. JJ reaches up like pulling the lever on the air compressor. Up top, find the tools menu like flicking the switch to pressurize the system. Click new station. That's firing up the engine before the big race. Leah G, shotgun the navigator of names and maps. Leah's tapping the touchscreen GPS above the glove box. Name your station like you're christening a race car. Supernova _controls or Queen HVAC _01, something shiny and smart. Then pick your template, like picking street mode, drag mode, or slammed. Or go wild and make your own flavor. Miriama K, back left keeper of secrets and passwords. She's got a toolbox spilling with numbers, letters, and locks. Time to set your admin password, honey. 10 characters, gotta have uppercase, lowercase, and a number like tuning all your air springs just right. Don't slack, or your boost leaks like a busted valve. Step 2, station copy. Filling up the air tanks. JJ slams the shiny finish button on the dash. Now you can either save it to your user home like parking your ride in the garage, or use the station copier to blast it over to your daemon home that's airbagging your ride so she's ready to pop whenever you want. Sky B, back right the platform connect queen. Sky's plugging her tablet into the rear console. Windows might be suspicious cause Tritium cert ain't from the usual crowd. Just hit accept, trust me, it's safe. Then log in with your creds and check. Remember me, nobody likes typing the same stuff over and over. Zweedle twins Tweedle Lady Z and Sandra Z, in the trunk runtime and backup bosses, lounging in the trunk with air tanks and wires everywhere. Lady Z, auto start station on boot. That's like your airbags lifting the ride as soon as you turn the key. Sandra Z, but if it's your own laptop, don't auto start, leave it off till you wanna crank it yourself in the application director. JJ shouts from the front, don't want your bags lifting just cause you popped the trunk, yeah no. Step 3, transfer, push it to the platform. JJ hits the next button like shifting gears. Now your station copies to your daemon home fast as a burnout on slick tires. Empty station? Done before you can say Jabberwocky. Step 4, open application director. Is she ready to roll? A pop-up asks, wanna open the application director? Alice, sitting between Miriama and Sky, taps her smartwatch. JJ, it says starting. JJ grins, patience, lil lady. It's like airbags filling up. Once it says running, we can start engineering this beast. Station's running, you made it. JJ slams the airbag switch, dropping the car low. You just built a fresh Niagara 4 station, tuned it tight, locked it down, and got it copied to your local ride. That's how we roll. Now go flex those logic blocks and make the HVAC dance like this Impala. Post credits chaos. The White Rabbit's wearing a hard hat, typing fast on a laptop strapped to a flamingo. I'm late for tagging the network points. The Queen of Hearts screams from the back seat, off with his null pointers. Wrap up, Niagara 4 station equals engineered Impala equals slammed logic equals clean. Stay curious, stay wonderfully wild like Alice and her crew. JJ the Boss, Wonderland Edition, signing out. Next topic. HVAC training. What is DDC? Alright, buckle up. Here's what is DDC. JJ the Boss style, rollin' with the Niagara 4 Chicas in that candy-painted 64 compressed air supercharged Impala with airbag suspension, smooth and smart like the logic we're about to drop. JJ the boss, driver's seat the boss of BAS and Boost. Yo, listen up, a lot of folks get stuck thinking DDC and PLC are twins. Nah, fam, they're cousins but not the same ride. Let me break it down with my crew inside this Impala, cause every detail counts when you're tuning an airbagged ride like ours. Leah G, shotgun the Navigator, alright, so DDC, that's direct digital control. Think of it like the brain inside our Impala's compressed air supercharger system. It's the microprocessor that controls everything digitally, no old school analog clunks here. Miriama K, back left seat the security and control queen. Now, PLC, that's a programmable logic controller. It's kinda like the old school OEM circuit boards in the engine bay, hardwired for a specific job, like keeping the supercharger firing just right. But the DDC system? It's programmable, flexible, and can do way more, like adjusting your airbag suspension on the fly for that perfect bounce. Sky B, back right seat platform connect queen. Imagine your airbag system needs to know exactly when to pump or release air for the smoothest ride. That's your inputs and outputs, I/O, talking. Sensors feeding info in, inputs, and actuators doing the work, outputs. DDC is the slick brain handling those signals, making real-time decisions. Zweedle twins, Tweedle Lady Z and Sandra Z, in the trunk redundancy and runtime. Lady Z, DDC is like having two air compressors in the trunk ready to take over if one blows. It's got communication ports, RS485 networks, Modbus, BACnet, so all your control boards talk to each other, syncing like the perfect airbag lift. Sandra Z, and PLCs? They're often more rigid, not as chatty. DDC's the smooth talker, making sure all systems stay in harmony. JJ the boss breaking it down with some humor. Alright, picture this, the old solid state boards. That's like a clunky carburetor, no brains, just mechanics doing their thing. The OEM board? Like a race-tuned turbocharger with a preset boost map ready to go but no wiggle room. The DDC system? That's your fully programmable, airbag adjusting, supercharger boosted digital ECU. You can tune it, update the firmware, make it dance, and keep it smarter than a Cheshire cat on espresso. Inputs and outputs, the nervous system of the ride. Inputs equals sensors like temperature probes, pressure switches, or current sensors. It's like your suspension knowing when the road's bumpy. Outputs equals actuators, dampers, solenoid coils. These do the actual work, like pumping air into the bags or opening a valve. Your DDC system takes these signals, runs its logic, like PID loops controlling suspension height, and makes sure your ride stays smooth, cool, and controlled. What's PID got to do with it? PID proportional, integral, derivative. Think of it like the perfect landing of the Impala on its airbag suspension. You don't want a hard slam or a bouncy mess. PID helps the controller feel how far off it is from the target, proportional, how fast it should react, integral, and how to smooth out the bump, derivative. Firmware updates keep your ride fresh, unlike old OEM boards where you gotta swap hardware to change settings. With DDC, you just update the firmware like downloading a fresh tune on your ECU to make it perform better. Final word from JJ, DDC is the future of HVAC controls, smarter, tighter, and flexible. It's the brain behind the scenes that makes your systems sing, your Impala bounce just right, and keeps everything talking like best friends on a road trip. Niagara 4 Chicas say, Leah G, DDC keeps us on track. Miriama K, locked down and secure. Sky B, connected and ready. Tweedle Lady Z and Sandra Z, redundancy means no bumps in the road. So next time someone asks, what's DDC, you hit M with this Lowrider logic, straight, smooth, and bossed up. JJ da boss out, rollin' smooth with the Niagara 4 Chicas. Keep your airbags tight and your logic tighter. Alice's Adventures in Niagara 4 Wonderland, What is DDC? With JJ the Boss and Wonderland crew, once upon a bouncy airbag ride, Alice hopped into a shiny 64 Impala, powered by a compressed air supercharger and controlled by the smartest magic of all DDC, the direct digital control. She sat shotgun next to Leah G the white rabbit, who was always in a hurry, tapping her touchscreen GPS. Hurry, hurry. DDC is like the brain of this Impala. It tells the supercharger when to puff and the airbags when to bounce. No old clunky gears here. In the back left seat, Miriama the caterpillar, puffing on her magic hookah, or was it a tablet, explained, "Now, that other thing PLC is like the Queen of Hearts old cord. Strict, rigid, and only good for one job, like turning a valve or firing a compressor. But DDC? It's the Mad Hatter, wild, flexible, and can do way more tricks." On the back right, Sky B the Cheshire Cat, grinning from ear to ear, added, "DDC talks to all the parts. It listens to the inputs like the dormouse snoring with sensor signals and tells the outputs what to do, like the March Hare pumping air into the bags. It's all connected like a secret tea party. And oh, down in the trunk, the Zweedle twins Lady Z and Sandra Z, juggling air tanks and BAC net wires, giggled, DDC has 2 air compressors ready to jump in if one goes kablooey. It's like having 2 red queens ready to shout off with that fault, but with teamwork and fancy talk like Modbus and Rs 485. The tale of 3 boards. Alice peeked under the hood and saw 3 strange boards. The old solid-state board was like the Duchess's grumpy cook, no brain, just banging pots and pans, doing the same old thing every time. The OEM board was like the Knave of Hearts, built for one job and no wiggle room, just like guarding the Queen's croquet game. The DDC system? That was like the Griffin and Mock Turtle teaming up, clever, ready to learn new tricks, and always ready to update its firmware, like a magical potion to get smarter. Inputs and outputs, the magic signals. Look, Alice, said Leah G, inputs are like the Queen's roses sensors telling us what's going on. Is it hot? Cold? Bumpy? Outputs are like the playing cards, painting roses, or opening gates, things that make the system do stuff. Alice nodded as the Mad Hatter jumped in, and the secret sauce is PID magic that's proportional, integral, and derivative, like a gentle landing after a wild jump on the airbag suspension. You don't want to slam down hard like the Jabberwock's claws, no, you want a smooth, perfect bounce. The big lesson from Wonderland, Alice laughed. So DDC is the smart brain that listens, thinks, and talks to all the parts to keep the ride smooth and cool. Exactly, shouted JJ the Boss from the driver's seat, tipping his hat. It's the future of control, smarter than the Cheshire Cat on espresso, and smoother than a croquet game played with flamingos and hedgehogs. The Niagara 4 chicas chime in, Leah G the white rabbit, DDC keeps us on track, no late runs. Miriama the caterpillar, secure and locked down, no funny business. Sky Bree the Cheshire Cat, connected and always grinning. Lady Z and Sandra Z the Zweedle twins, double backups mean no bumps in the road. And as the Queen of Hearts shouted in the distance, off with faulty logic. The Impala rolled on, powered by DDC magic and Wonderland wonder. So next time someone wonders, what's DDC, just tell them it's the Mad Hatter of HVAC, wild, clever, and keeping the ride bounce perfect, just like Alice's adventures down the rabbit hole. JJ the Boss out? Keep your airbags tight, your logic tighter, and your Wonderland wild. Next topic. Create a new folder and writable point in a Niagara, and 4, station. JJ the Boss slides in, mic drop. Yo, listen up, fam. We bout to drop some Niagara 4 knowledge like it's hot, and we got the Niagara 4 chicas ride in shotgun in this compressed air supercharger Impala to break it down for ya. Step 1, creating a new folder, aka the VIP lounge. So you wanna set up a new folder in your Niagara station? Think of this like building a VIP lounge inside your Impala's trunk, which, in this case, is the config container. Right-click on the config object, that's the Impala's trunk where all the magic happens. New folder, we're building a VIP section for the Niagara 4 chicas. Name it something fly, let's call it cafe, because even bosses need coffee breaks. But JJ, where my folder at? Expand the config tree, it's chillin' at the bottom like Zweedle Lady Z and Zweedle Sandra Z lounging in the back seats, airbagged suspension, smooth, low, and comfy. Step 2, adding a writable point, aka the fan control throne. Now, we need a Boolean writable point to control a fan. This is like giving Leah the auxiliary cord, she decides when the music, or fan, on or off. Open the palette sidebar, that's like the Impala's glove compartment full of goodies. Find the kit control palette, the compressed air supercharger of Niagara gives your station that extra oomph. Drag out a Boolean writable, this is your fan remote control. Yo, JJ, why Boolean writable? Boolean point equals Miriama K reading the temp, status only, she'll tell you if it's hot, but won't fix it. Boolean writable equals Sky Bree, she'll flip the switch on/off, no questions asked. Step 3, priority array, aka who's the boss. A writable point has 16 priority levels like the Impala's air suspension settings. Priority 1 equals emergency override, Leah snatches the auxiliary, no arguments. Priority 8 equals regular override, Miriama K politely asks to change the song. Fallback, 16, equals default setting, Zweedle twins just vibin' if nobody else takes over. JJ, how I make it say on/off instead of true/false? Facets, baby. Click the double arrows, like adjusting the airbag pressure, and change, true rightward arrow on, fan spinning like Sky Breeze dance moves. False rightward arrow off, fan chillin' like the Zweedles in Lowrider mode. Final boss tip, location matters. Cafe folder equals trunk VIP lounge, where the chicas post up. Exhaust fan control equals dashboard, Leah DJ station. Priority array equals air suspension controls, who gets to ride smooth. Now you flexin' in Niagara like a true boss. Mic drop. Impala hydraulics bounce. Alice tumbles down the Niagara rabbit hole. One sunny afternoon, Alice, that's you, little techie, was bored of normal computers when poof, a white rabbit in a lab coat sprinted past, yelling, "Oh dear! My Niagara station is late for the Queen's croquet game." Curious, and a little hungry, Alice chased him into a magic server rack and fell splash, right into Wonderland's control room. Chapter 1, The Config Caucus Race, aka the folder fiasco. Alice landed in a room full of bouncing playing cards. They were busy tagging points but kept painting roses red by accident. The dodo, a sleepy IT guy, announced, "To make a folder, we must run in circles." Right-click the Cheshire config tree, it grinned and vanished, leaving only drop-down menus. "New folder," shouted the Mad Hatter, smashing his broken watch, "no time for spaces in names." Alice named it Tea Party, because folders, like hatters, hate rules. "But where is it?" Alice cried. The caterpillar, smoking a VPN cloud, yawned, "Check under the mushroom." I mean, expand the tree. Chapter 2, The Fans' Mad Tea Party. Next, Alice met a Boolean writable point having tea with the March Hare, jamming the on button. The Dormouse, asleep on off. The Queen of Hearts, screaming override priority 1 or off with your head. How to add a fan control. Follow the White Rabbit's palette, he pulled a kit control from his waistcoat. Drag out a Boolean writable, it's like eat me cake, said the Duchess, but for fans. Rename it Mad Fan, the Cheshire Cat purred, no spaces, unless you want chaos. Chapter 3, The Queen's Priority Croquet. The Queen of Hearts, bossy like Leah demanded, "Who controls the fan?" Priority 1 equals Her Majesty, emergency override all fans on or I'll throw the knave in the server. Priority 8 equals the Griffin, polite overrides pardon me, old chap, might we adjust the breeze? Fallback, 16, equals Tweedledee and Tweedledum, default setting will just nap here unless someone yells. Alice changed true/false to on/off using facets, the mock turtle sobbed, finally, someone speaks hedgehog. Chapter 4, The Trial of the Knave of Points. Suddenly, the King of Hearts, a grumpy old admin, bellowed, who messed up the fan logic. The Knave of Hearts, a rogue PID loop, whimpered, it wasn't me. The Dormouse set fall back to off. Alice's fix, double-click the fan, like peeking into the soup tureen of truth. Set fall back equals on, the cook through pepper automation. Automation. Save just as the Jabberwock, a corrupted database, lurked away. The end. Spoiler, it's never the end in Niagara. Alice woke up at her desk, but oh my, her station now had a Tea Party folder, hosting a Hatter-approved fan. Priority 8 set by the March Hare, still late for everything. The Cheshire Cat's grin floating in the wire sheet, you're almost not lost. Moral of the story, in Wonderland, and Niagara, expect chaos, laugh at the madness, and always check your fallback settings. Now go paint some roses red. Or at least tag your points properly. Next topic, create basic logic in a Niagara, and for, station, TStat object. JJ the boss rolls up in the Niagara 4 Impala, hydraulics bouncing like a TStat with too much caffeine. Ayo, fam. Time to drop some thermostat science with the Niagara 4 Chicas ride-in shotgun in this compressed air supercharged logic machine. Buckle up, we bout to turn this basic TStat into a full-blown HVAC block party. Step 1, the setup, aka who's bringin' the heat. Before we flex, we need two things, space temp, that's Miriama sittin' in the back left airbagged seat, she's the sensor queen, always keepin' it real with the numbers. Temp set point, SP, that's Leah in the passenger throne, she calls the shots, no questions asked. How we do it? Right-click the cafe wire sheet, that's the Impala's trunk where all the VIP logic lives. New numeric writable, name it space temp, no spaces, unless you wanna fight Tweedle Lady Z over syntax errors. Set default value to 72 degrees Fahrenheit, like the perfect AC setting when Sky Bree ain't turnin' the studio into a sauna. Pro tip, use facets, fam. Units equals Fahrenheit, unless you rollin' with the Griffin, who weirdly prefers Celsius. Precision equals 1, we ain't NASA Tweedle, Sandra Z says, rounded like a donut. Step 2, the setpoint showdown, aka Leah vs. The thermostat, now we need a temp SP, setpoint. Think of this like Leah can't roll in the auxiliary cord, she decides when the party starts. Duplicate space temp, right-click duplicate like the Cheshire Cat, copy-paste in his grin. Rename it temp SP, short, clean, no drama, unlike the Queen of Hearts croquet rules. Set it to 76 degrees Fahrenheit, because Miriama said if it's under 76, we chillin', literally. Step 3, enter the TStat, aka the Mad Hatter's logic tea party, time to bring in the TStat object, this is the brain of the operation, sittin' in the dashboard like the Mad Hatter at high noon. Grab the TStat from the kit control palette, HVAC folder hidden like the Dormouse under a stack of code. Drop it on the wire sheet, don't rename it the Caterpillar says default names are deep, man. Now the magic, right-click TStat pin slots, this is like the White Rabbit pulling mystery pockets out of his coat. Expose CV, controlled variable, and SP, setpoint, CV equals Miriama temp readings, SP equals Leah demands. Wirin IT up, drag space temp out rightward arrow TStat CV, now Miriama feedin' data to the Hatter. Drag temp SP out rightward arrow TStat SP, Leah just set the rules of the game. Step 4, fan control chaos, aka Sky Bree vs. The override, now we hook the TStat out rightward arrow exhaust fan in, priority 10 aka the March Hare's medium panic mode. What happens? If space temp SP, 76 degrees Fahrenheit, rightward arrow fan on, Sky Bree flips the switch like she's dropping a beat. If space temp SP, drone the Griffin, fan goes on. If not, off. Unless chaos interruption. The cook, a corrupted database, hurled pepper, bad data, making everyone sneeze. Tweedledee and Tweedledum argued over deadbands, painting roses on and off. The Jabberwock, a glitching sensor, made numbers dance upside down. Chapter 5, The Queen's override enough, roared the Queen. I'll set priority 1. Off with its wires. Alice gasped. The fan ignored the TStat. But the dodo, an auto command, restored order by chanting, let logic try first. Let logic try first. The moral, or lack thereof, as Alice woke at her desk, she heard the Cheshire Cat's laugh, every HVAC system is mad here, but check your fallbacks and you'll be almost sane. The end, unless your setpoint changes. Somewhere, a dormouse mumbled about differentials and went back to sleep.